First time out in Halifax, man. This is fucking awesome. You people fucking rock. Yeah, man. Right on. We got any old Anvil fans here? I think I can see that. Nice shiny scalp.
Absolutely no alternative!
That's right. Hey, growing old, we got no fucking choice. Growing up,
Fucking choice!
it's optional. Yeah, that's right. Here's a song from our first album, from Hard and Heavy. This is called Kudlow.
Now, and I mean, where you guys have been around for so long, you've influenced some of the biggest bands that have been around.
Yeah, well, that comes, you know, it's funny because I had a conversation with Lemmy after we went out and did a Motorhead tour in 1983, and sitting in a hotel room with him, and we start talking about stuff, and he goes, and I'm like, I'm telling Lemmy, it's such an amazing honor to sit here and be with, you know, a legend like you. And he just turns to me and goes, well, Lips, in 10 years' time, another bloke is going to be sitting across the table saying exactly the same thing to you.
Nice.
And that's what he meant, and I understood it and didn't understand it until I was actually there. And it's quite fascinating. I hadn't seen him probably in, I don't know, maybe 10 years from that point. And I went to a Motorhead show in Florida. And I knock on the tour bus door, and Lemmy comes out and he goes, oh, how's it going, Lips? I got to ask you something. Has that guy ever come up and said to you that you're the biggest inspiration yet? I said, yeah. And he goes, what did I tell you? He really wanted to know how it turned out. Yeah, you know what I mean? That I could say that I've lived what he lived. So he's sort of like, I sort of looked at Lemmy like the big brother, the guy that went and experienced everything first. Yeah. You just ask him first, you know. And all those things are really, I mean, that's just the nature of it. Whoever comes first is the guys that you pay homage to. It's just the way it works. Yeah, I mean, and the stature of that band is of the bands that you look up to. It makes no difference. It's you look up to them because you've been musically influenced and you love their music. How many records they sold is not even relevant. You know, I mean, that isn't why I mean, if I wanted to like something that sold lots of records, I want to go out and buy Justin Bieber's album. You know what I mean?
Please don't. Please don't.
It's just not going to happen. But, you know, that's just the way it is. I suppose if I got inspired by Justin Bieber, then it'd be legitimate.
Yeah.
But it's
that'd be hard to do.
That'd be hard to do.
So I mean,
but on the other side of that, and I can be very positive about it. He's an extraordinarily talented little guy, and he's definitely deserves the recognition. It's wonderful to see it. It happens once in a blue moon. All the power to him. Yeah. I mean, you know, like I've been doing this my whole life and never got the accolades that he got at, you know, how old is he? 10, 11?
12 and a half?
You know what I'm saying? I've worked my whole life to try to get there. He's very fortunate. Hopefully he can sustain it, and we'll see what happens. I mean, that's all I can say about that.
Well, I mean, so now we know you're not listening to Justin Bieber before you guys go on stage, but what do you guys listen to? Like, what gets your guys' creative juices going?
Well, for me personally, I really like the old stuff. Actually, as last night, which was I was blown right away. I really like Dave Grohl's new album.
Yeah.
Great. Really heavy, lots of edge, very cool. It's not very often that I would ever go out on the limb and say anything like that about contemporaries or you know, other artists. I generally as a rule, I kind of don't really talk much about what's going on out there, but there's a certain camaraderie between us and Dave, and because we know him, and you can't see anything bad in it, even if you wanted to. It's fascinating, and I tell this story quite often. Is I was staying at a hotel in New York City, and one of the guys that works at the club says, "I want you to meet a couple friends of mine. Come and have a seat. This is Jay and this is Chris." So I sit down and I'm having a beer with these two guys. One guy's an English guy and the other guy's a black American guy, and I have no idea who I'm sitting with. You know, the English guy, Chris, is going on about how I'd hate his music and it's a bunch of crap, and in comparison to Anvil, and I got a whole bunch of stuff happening, and I'm really happening, but you guys deserve it even more than I do, and all this stuff, and I'm still not even, I don't get it. This other third guy sits down, and it's the road manager of this guy, Jay, and he starts carving on Chris, going, "You think you're the real hip hop, Mr. Coldplay?" I went, "Oh my God, that's Chris Martin.
Jesus.
That's Jay-Z."
And you had no idea.
I have no clue. No clue.
Don't feel bad. I probably wouldn't either. So,
But I mean, you know, stuff happens, man. You just, I'm not in the know of that stuff. I mean, I wouldn't have known. It's like I wouldn't know Jay-Z from a million other guys or Chris Martin. I'm not. But now, having said that, and getting to know Chris Martin, when I finally sit down and listen to Coldplay, I couldn't find fault with it, because the guy that I met is a great guy. Like, how am I going to find anything wrong with his music? I thought, Jesus, very, 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 very well written and arranged music here. I mean, it might not be my cup of tea, and it might not be the stuff that I'm going to, rock out to, but I can see why people like it, and I can appreciate it. And that's how I feel about that kind of stuff.
One final question. What exactly is this card, the Metal Pounders Union?
We have a very interesting thing going, and it's really about the family and our outward family of the band. It's more than a fan club. And what we've done is we're doing a very interesting thing. Everybody who joins the club has to validate their membership by being photographed with a membership card that they're all numbered. So everybody is actually, that's.
Is there a number in this one? No.
No, this is not the actual card. This is just.
And how do I get a card? I want one.
Well, you can get them they'll be selling them at the merch table. Now, what this does is it's almost like an exclusive kind of thing going, where being in touch with us directly, like, because we give them our personal email address if they want to talk to us. We have Skyping with us, all kinds of things.
That's awesome.
It's just like a big family. But what's become really remarkable is that the people that have actually joined. Like, you got the guys in Twisted Sister, Raven, Accept. You got all these celebrities. And the demographics of it is insane. We've got like pictures of the dentist standing a dentist at his office. You can see that he's got the chair in the background, and he's standing there with the card going. You know what I mean? So the demographics.
When we send the pictures, is it on any specific webpage or Facebook?
Now, what happens with all these pictures? We make slideshows, basically, for the internet, so you can sit and watch and see all the members.
oh wait.
So what we're eventually going to do is what we're hoping to do at some point is once we get big enough and we get all the stuff that you can do when you get a big show, we're going to run, of course, images on a screen behind the band, like, awesome. And we're gonna, during the set or during the, when the setup is, you have the big screen showing all the members.
Yeah.
one picture at a time. And
I mean, where do you send the pictures? Is there an email address or?
yeah, there's a way to join. Well, what
Is it all written on the card kind of thing?
Well, yeah. Well, what happens is like if you buy a card, like at these gigs, we take a picture of you right there with the card, and you're given the number right there. You're validated immediately. The way that this began to grow, and it's not like we're doing it for extraordinary profit. What we did initially was you had to earn the card. And it really, really fascinating kind of thing. Rob is quite eccentric about it, to say the least. So what they did initially was they would run contests, and we basically used the internet as our promotional tool within our fans. So what we would do is if you wanted to win a card, you would have to change your profile picture to one of the Anvil covers of one of our albums for a week. Right? So if you ran and the way that the girl who's with us on the road, we call her Sister D, she would keep an eye on who's kept their picture, the Anvil cover up for a week, and then you'd win a card. Then it was there's a number of different ways of having contests. Then it turned into, because we wanted to get, like we were talking about the dark era and the songs that people don't know, we thought YouTube is filled with all of our music. I mean, it's just like chock full. So what we did is we ran a contest. The person who posts the most Anvil songs on Facebook wins a card.
That's awesome. Good idea.
So there's, they got about 100 and something different songs, and they're being posted all over the place, and everybody's in competition to be the one that posted the most. So we did that for a while, and then of course what was happening, the people that, the guy worked did it for a week. Like, I think there were weeks at a time or 2 weeks at a time. I'm not sure of how long the periods of time were, but of course the people that lost and had been posting and going crazy trying to win, they're going, I didn't get a card. Can I buy one? And we went, well, I guess you can. And meanwhile, these cards, we had to pay for all the, initially it was an investment, like a big investment, because everybody who competed to win the card, we had to actually physically send it to them by mail. And there was a cost incurred by doing that, of course. Never mind the gas back and forth, the postage, the time spent to administrate all the stuff. It turned into, well, you know what? If we do it for $10, but you still got to validate. Like, that's the thing. The whole thing's about the picture. Yeah. So that's what it turned into, and now I'm not even sure if it's broken even yet, and what it cost us to get it to where it is, of sending out all these free mail outs to all the people that won. That was quite an expense, and
it was a great idea though, man. Fans love that stuff.
At the same time, it's really the intent was to create almost a family unit amongst the metalheads. And it doesn't matter whether it's Anvil that's your favorite band or not. It's just kind of belonging to the Metal Pounders Union. Yeah. It becomes sort of like, I just want a card. Just to say that I belong. I mean, we, as human beings, we all long to belong. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for the interview. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
This was Metal Mouth Media with Lips from Anvil. Yeah!
All right, we're just finishing watching Iron Giant and Anvil kick our asses at the Paregon. Yeah! Fuck yeah!
Also want to give a huge shout out to Sonic Concert for hooking us up, and also for giving us free tickets to give away on the show. Woo! Sonic Concert rules! Yeah!